and welcome to my tutorial showing you how to do a magic loop in crochet. This is a really useful technique for projects that are worked in the round, such as amigurumi, granny squares and other square and hexagonal motifs where you want a really tight closed centre. It's an alternative to starting with a few chains and joining them to form a loop, and it has the benefit that you can pull the tail tight to close up the centre as tight as you would like it to be. So let's see how it's done. First, pick up the tail end of your yarn and I wrap it around. I find 3 fingers is normally about enough, going up the front and down the back, and do this 3 times. So that's once, twice and 3 times. Make sure you've got a few centimetre long tail here so that it doesn't get lost. Then using your thumb to hold these yarns in place, put your hook under the last 2 loops that you made and pull the first loop under those and up here. Then you just continue working into the loop as you would normally if this were a loop of chain stitches. So this will depend on what project you're making, whether you normally start with 1, 2 or possibly even 3 or more chains and then continue with single crochet, double crochet, whatever stitch is required. So I'm going to start this off as if it's a granny square and then show you how to tighten it up at the end. While I'm working around the loop, I use the 3 fingers just to hold the loop open. So I've done 3 chains to be my first double crochet, 2 double crochets, then I'm going to do 2 chains for the corner and continue making 3 double crochet and 2 chains for each side of my granny square. Now I've got to the end of making my clusters of 3 treble stitches with 2 chains between them, and the next step would be to do a slip stitch from this last chain to the top of the first 3 chains to join it. However, before I do that, I'm going to tighten up the circle in the middle. Now, pulling on this end will tighten up the loop, and sometimes that will work and it will tighten up both loops, but sometimes, especially if you've got a slightly rougher yarn where there's a bit more friction, it might only tighten up one of them and you'd be left with a loop. So what I do is I pull on this first and see which of these 2 it tightens. So I'm pulling on it, and you can see it's this one that's getting shorter. So I then stop pulling on this one and pull on the top of this bit, and this will pull in the other loop like that. Then pick up the tail again and tighten in the remaining loop to get it really tight in the center, and then I'm ready from this last chain stitch just to do a slip stitch into the top of that initial 3 chain like so, and I will then show you how nice and tight the center is. So I've done my slip stitch. You can see I've got a granny square. There's still a little bit of a hole there in the middle, but I can just pull on this end as tight as I want to completely close up that hole and get it really tight and neat in the middle. And that is how you do a magic loop in crochet. If you want to see this again, just move the video right back to the beginning, and obviously you can watch it as many times as you want. And if you've got any questions at all, please just leave a comment below and I'll be happy to help. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can see any future tutorials, and have a wonderful time using this new technique. Thanks for watching.